So the question is, why does the growth mindset fail with coaching clients? Hi, I'm Bruce Story. I'm a coach and I'm brought in to work with senior executives who are trying to get to the next level. I've worked with Gen Xers and baby boomers and millennials for years. And for many years I was an executive and also a coach, and I found that there's a pattern. This is not something new, but it does seem to be something that's universal and just part of human nature. And I see it when I start to work with someone. At some point, not long before, they were motivated in their job. They were excited. They actually wanted the position that they're in right now, or they wanted their company to be at the level that it is right now. But now they're failing, or they're just not doing well, they're not enjoying it, they're losing interest. And then they cycle through some common complaints. The first thing they say is, they no longer like the industry or the company. The industry's changed so much because of technology. Now that they've been at the role for a while, they didn't know what they were getting into. They realized we were in the wrong job. There's a number of these things. Ultimately, the worst one is they realize they never really wanted to do this thing anyway, which is never accurate. Or they don't have willpower. That's the other one. They say, well, I don't have the willpower. I've got to work on my discipline. I've got to develop better habits. I just don't feel excited anymore, so therefore this can't be the right thing. Or one of the things I'm seeing is they think that they have ADHD. Now, a disproportionate number of people that I'm working with feel as though they have ADHD, so go to your doctor and get that checked out. Or they're really smart and they've read all the books, and they'll come in and they'll say, I've got the growth mindset, but I've grown and I realize that this isn't the job I want anymore. Or maybe they're a baby boomer and they're a little more enlightened, and they say something like, they no longer see the possibility of this job. The possibility is complete for them. And 99% of the time, I find with them that they're totally wrong about this. So let's break down the pattern and take a look at it. When we start something new, we're excited and enthused, but after a little while, now that while could be a number of years or a number of months, we start to fail. We get unenthused, and then we either blame ourselves. We say things like, I made a bad choice. I did what my parents wanted me to do. I didn't have enough discipline or willpower. Or we blame others, or other things. We say it's the industry, or it's the technology, it's this instant economy is no longer the way it used to be when I first joined. It's the competition, blah, blah, blah. We say all these things, and we've been saying these same things for decades now. But I make the case that we're just simply on the wrong path. There is another alternate way, which we don't even consider anymore. And I believe it's because of something called the availability bias. And the availability bias basically says that we choose the option that's most easily available in our mind and we can bring to mind quickly. When we think about job improvement and success, we think about what we just watched on YouTube or on TED Talk or in some magazine. There's some charismatic, attractive, successful person is talking about something. Those things make the magazines. I suggest these solutions all fall into one of three categories. The first category is motivation. They say, you've got to have a big why, you have to have the right purpose, or you have to get connected to the cost of not doing it, sort of a fear tactic. The second one is transformation. You just have to transform. You have to see the world in a new way. Take a seminar, get a new perspective, change your shoes, change the way you stand. Or my favorite is changing your limiting belief. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know I did a whole thing on the 4-minute mile. You read the book. The 4-minute mile, there was no transformation. It was a linear progression. Or the new one is mindset. They find their way to fulfillment is through changing their mindset. Now, these concepts are incredibly seductive, and there's great research which explains why they're so seductive. Now, the research is beautifully explained by a book I've talked about before called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's a beautiful book. The fast way of thinking is a little bit lazy. It likes fast answers. It is that urge we all have which says, I just avoid any uncomfortable feeling and jump to a conclusion so you feel better. These fast solutions are really sellable on TV or at seminars. That high pressure technique is perfect for this fast way of thinking. They appeal to the fast thinking system. But what I'm suggesting is the best way to genuinely have a lasting success and satisfaction is through another path called learning and improving your skills. Now, please, suspend your immediate reaction. But what I'm suggesting is the best way to genuine satisfaction and improvement is another path. Now, this is called the learning and improving skills path. When I talk about this idea of new skills, most people don't even want to consider it. Focusing on skill development is hard. They did that at the beginning of their career. They don't need to do it anymore. And given the current choice, the fast way or the slow way, what are you going to choose? The availability is right there. You choose the fast way because skill development seems to take more time. It does take more time and it is uncomfortable. But we've also bought into this old quip that says doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. If you know people who are really good in their profession, who are the top of their profession, they often do just that and they call it practice. Now, why this is such a good solution is because with skill training, you control it, you get to keep it. And therefore it's reliable and it's reproducible. Once you get the basics, you don't have to rely on anybody else or external factors for success. It's why people have hobbies and play sports and go to the gym. They get a positive feeling just from doing it, from doing something really well. It's the true access to fulfillment and satisfaction. And we've known about this for centuries, at least since the ancient Greeks, who seem to have a really good understanding. And I write about this in the book. Another source of fulfillment and pleasure is making progress in something which is really meaningful for you, that's generally kind of hard. And what I found is that people learn best by doing with a coach, doing with someone outside of your own head, outside of the own discourse going on in there, by working with a coach who has subject matter in the thing that you're trying to learn. You will become competent way faster working with a coach. Our mirrored neurons are ingenious. And there are plenty of great books dealing with some of these skills that I've been talking about and that I think are most important, like Humble Inquiry, dealing with conflict and crucial conversations, how to run a great meeting, how to give a great presentation, how to conduct great feedbacks, on and on. In my next series of videos, I'm going to walk through each of those books and summarize them based on a coach's viewpoint. Now, if you're interested in these ideas or learning more about coaching, please subscribe and take a look at my book called Lift, The Nature and Craft of Expert Coaching, or leave a comment below. See you in the next video.